It was late night. It's a Heyman bomb. Final trade. Skubal, Zyhir Hope, River Ryan, and Brady Smith. It seems as if the rich, they just continue to get richer. Here's some of the details for the two-time Cy Young Award winner, Skubal. The Tigers, who do they get? Hope, a former Chicago Cub. The Dodgers, number 5, and Big League Baseball's number 25th prospect overall. River Ryan, also a top 10 Dodger prospect. He's outside of the top 50 in the bigs. And then there's Brady Smith, right-handed pitcher. So you have to have 2 for the price of 1, at least when it comes to that pitching aspect. So it's a case of the rich getting richer.
Yes.
The Dodgers say they have a powerhouse starting 5, and then guys who were in that starting 5, they now just slide to the bullpen. The case of that rich getting richer, this is something that a lot of baseball fans, including Cubs fans, did not want to see.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about it off the air. When you take a look at it, I mean, these teams complain about the Dodgers having so many good guys in their payroll and what it is, then stop trading to them, right? I mean,
Here we go.
Yeah, I think when you take a look at it and what they're able to do, they've won it the last 2 years in a row. Now they look like the front runners, obviously, for 3 years in a row. And it's tough as a fan when you take a look at it. I mean, he's arguably the best pitcher out there going in there, and you throw him into that starting rotation. I know he had a little bit of an injury bug. He's reaching up into that 30 years old, but this is one of those guys that he's tough for a lot of teams, and when you look at the Dodgers, they're probably one of the only teams that can re-sign him as well because, we can go and talk about the Cubs should have got him. There was probably zero chance that they probably would have been able. This guy's going to want $400 million when you talk about going into free agency.
And his ideal destination, he said, once free agency opens up at the end of this season, he would ideally like to be a Los Angeles Dodger.
Yeah, and I think when you take a look at it from the Cubs' perspective too, is I think it maybe would have been a little bit different if you would have had the lead in the division, but when you're looking at locking up a wild card spot right now, you talk about the wild card position, you have 3 games. You get him for the rest of August and September, and you maybe get him for 1 start in the postseason. I mean, hopefully you go past the first round, but you talk about 1 round, and then it's basically a rental. Who knows what you had to give up? The Dodgers gave up 3 prospects. Overall, I mean, I think I like the fact that the Cubs didn't get him. That's probably a little bit controversial. I mean, obviously you want to throw that guy in your starting rotation, but I think there's a couple other guys out there for long-term purposes that the Cubs could get coming up with that trade deadline being tomorrow.
Yeah, while other teams are going for rentals, they're going to just the regular rental spots where you're picking up just run-of-the-mill vehicles. The Dodgers right now, they're renting Bentleys and Bugattis and G-Wagons and all kinds of things like that because Lance, our guy, our player development analyst, he put together some comps, what the equivalent would be for the Dodgers package for Skubal. If you were the Brewers, Logan Henderson, Luis Lara, or Jefferson Carroll, and J.D. Thompson, fast forward to the bottom line there. Cubs, Ben Brown, Josiah Hartshorn, or Pedro Ramírez and Brooks Capel.
See, and I don't like that.
You don't want to give away 2 viable pros in Ben Brown and Pedro Ramírez. These guys have unbelievable upside right now.
And we see Pedro Ramírez is actually DHing in the lineup today. He's one of those guys where Craig Counsell has been giving a few guys a day off because you need to get that bat in the lineup. He's that young star. I know Ben Brown's on the IL right now, but when I take a look at that package, I don't want to give up those guys to try to get a rental. So I think it's one of those things. Like I said, we'll probably talk about a little later on in the show about different guys that they can be able to get. You talk about with the LA Angels, I should say, Soriano being scratched from his start the other day. He's one of those guys that's under control till 2028. I'd like to see him possibly go after him, but ultimately I think you do need another starter here in this starting rotation for the Cubs.
Yeah, and if you're looking via the way of Anaheim, we talked about it. Lance and Mike Petriello, they made mention of a guy like Ryan Zephyr-John. He's under team control till 2028, but nevertheless, the dude goes out there and throws absolute pellets. And like we said, Major League Baseball still wrapping themselves around the Tarik Skubal trade, and if there's anyone who's still scratching their head about it, it's the skip, Craig Counsell. Let's get his thoughts.
Well, the deadline is approaching, so there's that opens it. It's whatever. It's 24 hours away, so there's going to be a lot of trades because we're 24 hours away. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really know if this. I don't know if the Skubal thing matters. I'm sure it does. That's how free agency works sometimes. So,
can you give us your unfiltered reaction when you heard the news?
I was half asleep and then fell asleep 5 minutes later.
Is it ever, I don't know, what's the feeling that, like, sometimes this stuff feels inevitable with the Dodgers getting the best players?
Yeah, I mean, look, everybody has the ability to make a trade. Everybody's got the ability to do it. They did it. So, inevitable, whatever, Everybody's got a shot to do it. Credit to them for doing it.
How much does it increase the degree of difficulty for you guys to get where you want, that to get past the Dodgers now? Skubal will be a part of that.
I mean, this week, you mean?
I mean, in general. I mean, potentially in the playoffs.
We got to win today.
Well, Craig letting everybody know they have to win today, and staying dry, that will be of the utmost importance as well, because a 20% chance of rain, well, that 20% coming through, and when you hear the 20% chance of maybe the Dodgers landing a guy like Tarik Skubal, they certainly pounded the table on that one. And to see a team like the Dodgers continue to get better, the reaction around baseball, a lot of people, like we said with Craig, scratching their heads.
Well, I think Craig has the right reaction, too. He's like, do you mean this week? Or, I mean, they're worried about winning the game tonight.
That's true.
Ultimately. I mean, we're not worrying about the playoffs and what's going on, later on. So I think as a player, this is definitely, even though people would probably not admit to it, it is a weird time of year. I just remember specifically like playing with Oakland, and Mark Ellis was one of our big veterans, and coming in after BP, and his locker was just cleared out and he was gone. He was traded. So it's one of those things where as a player, like a lot of these guys here, necessarily on the big league side, you don't worry about it because a lot of teams want to get prospects and things like that. But it's definitely something that crosses your mind, like, hey, if we got that guy, or, who might be gone.
Sure.
So I think, ultimately you have to go out there and play every single day and not really focus on what's going on from that aspect, because it's the front office that has to really worry about that. But when you look at the Cubs, they're going to get a lot of guys coming back off the IL too. So it's almost like you're getting a trade without the trade, and if they can make a couple more moves to make this team even better, you like their chances.